Let's bring in renowned geologist Professor Ian Plimer. Ian, thanks for joining me in the studio. Once again, let's start with our favourite Cabinet Minister, the hapless Chris Bowen. Here he is proudly standing in front of a big battery. He writes, "The North Epping community battery is the latest in the 400 community batteries we are rolling out across Australia, step by step. Day by day, we are building our renewable energy future." He looks very happy there in front of the battery. But Ian, what exactly do these community batteries achieve? What do we know about their cost, their capacity, their lifespan? That sort of detail I haven't come across yet.
Well, I think they're absolutely fantastic. We used to have a time when we all sat in our houses with reliable and cheap electricity. Now we've got batteries.
Community batteries?
Community batteries, and they last a few minutes.
Oh, great.
So you all go out to the community battery with a candle and you meet fellow power deprivees and you sit around and chat and hopefully you've had a warm meal because there's nothing to cook the meal with when you get home. And these batteries last a few minutes. Now, the one that's meant to run all of South Australia, if all the power goes, lasts 5.5 minutes. That's to keep an industrial state going. So you can imagine a community battery and it's going to last a few minutes. You get to know your neighbours, you make friends with them, and then the lights go out and you can get up to all sorts of mischief. I think it's just fantastic for community bonding.
Well, at a cost, because those few minutes of capacity are not cheap, are they?
Well, you'd have to sell your house soon to be able to pay the electricity and go out and live in a tent in the bush. But it's great for the community.
It's great for the community. I just like the term community battery.
Yes, it's a bit like battery hens. They're all crammed in together.
It's very 1984. Now, let's talk about the viability of electric vehicles. We've got another car manufacturer that seems to be having second thoughts. Senior Toyota boss says the company is still not sure about electrification and that no one knows the future. Well, yeah, we could have told you that. They're going to continue investing in combustion engines and hybrid technologies. EVs are looking less and less attractive. And you do wonder, Ian, without the market interference from governments, just how many Australians would be buying EVs right now?
Well, Toyota's the biggest car maker in the world. And other car makers have seen the light. For example, Mercedes-Benz has said, no, we're giving up on EVs. They're just not economically viable. They can't last the distance. They don't have the resale value. And we're giving it away absolutely and totally. And unless you have subsidised EVs, people are not going to buy them. And to make it worse, once you've got an EV and it's been subsidised, you try to sell it after you've done, say, 100,000 kilometres.
Yeah.
The value has just dropped through the floor. And I quite often do long drives. Last week I drove to Broken Hill in one afternoon, was there for a few hours in the morning and then drove back. Now, I did that 600 kilometres from Adelaide to Broken Hill non-stop. It would have taken me nearly 3 days to do in an EV. Oh. And it might have caught a light. If I'd hit a kangaroo, God knows what would have happened. So I think we stick with what we know is tried and proven and reliable, and the biggest car maker in the world cannot possibly get it wrong.
Well, yeah, Mercedes, you mentioned Mercedes, because I think they were going to go EV only, and now they've said, no, well, wait on. we'll just keep on doing combustion engines and hybrids and EVs until we know what the future holds. But you're right about the resale value, because we've got a bunch of EVs who are about to come out of warranty, and you wonder what the value is at that point, where at any minute when you buy it, if the battery fails, some of these EVs, the batteries cost over $40,000.
Well, that's quite right. If you buy an antique car, maybe a car that's 60 or 80 years old, the value goes up. Every other car you have, the value goes down. But if you want it to go down absolutely rapidly and drop through the floor, get yourself an EV, because the cost of replacing the batteries is horrendous. You've only got to touch the underside on the curb, and there are no technicians that know how to repair that. So you scrap the whole car. These cars are wonderful if you want to drive a couple of kilometres a day and go to the shops and feel morally superior, not telling people how slave labour created the cobalt for your car, if you live in the centre of the city. But if you live where you have to travel great distances, such as in rural Australia, or you want to plough a field, an electric vehicle is totally and absolutely useless and a waste of money.
They're ideal for those teal seats, those affluent inner city areas where, you know, the ladies might just be driving a couple of kilometres to lunch and back, and that's ideal. Now, to one of the funniest stories of the month, the UK Telegraph reports eco-friendly brake cables are being eaten by foxes after manufacturers switch from petroleum-based insulation to soy, forcing owners to wrap their cars in tarpaulins. Look at that car wearing a nappy right there. Since 2000, peanut and soy-based oils and waxes have been used on car parts, including gearbox insulation, primer bulbs and diesel injector wires. And the foxes don't mind the taste of this sort of insulation, Ian.
Well, you couldn't make up stories like this.
No,
I mean, it's fabulous. Now, if I were a fox, this would be terrific because you'd get free tucker. You don't have to go hunting. And the second thing is you get in underneath the car, you keep yourself warm. And the third thing is quite often they have a pan underneath, so you can actually sleep in that pan.
Oh.
So I think these people are rewilding nature by having soya and peanut butter or Vegemite cables on their vehicles. I think it's terrific.
The foxes are enjoying it, that's for sure.
What can possibly go wrong?